Honorable Men Discord. Benzino takes aim at Uncle Murda and Tony Yayo. Let's talk about it.
How you see yourself is how you perceived. I see a man strong, gifted, head strapping, never down on his knees, begging. Gotta make a way, even in my darkest hour. Say the odds against me was new. I would never cower.
As always, welcome back to another episode. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Tell a friend to tell a friend. I drop episodes daily at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So I'm going to get straight into it. The video I have beside me is Benzino speaking on the fact that what he believes is two grown men still depending on 50 Cent. He thinks that it's ridiculous, it's shameful that they're 50 Cent's backup hype men when 50 Cent performs, among other things. So I'm going to play this video and I'm going to just share my thoughts on what Benzino had to say. So let's just get straight to it.
Couple things to say, right? Tony Yayo and Uncle Murda. To all the young guys out there who are trying to get in hip-hop, this is who you don't want to be. You do not want to be these two guys. And let me tell you why. At 50 years old, to be backing up a rapper, not one, but two niggas backing up one rapper, got to be the biggest failure ever in hip-hop. Like, how can you come home flying on these jets and to all these exotic places to come home and say, I just got finished backing up with my man, 50. Like, how can you sit there and brag about that shit? Now, don't get me wrong. Like, it's different with, say, Spliff Star and Busta. Spliff Star's a part of the show, a part of the success. He makes the show better with him there as far as backing up Busta. But these two bozos, absolutely not. I watched where 50 was doing a show at a college, and he had a football jersey on with the number on it. And then these two guys got a football jersey wearing the same number. And I'm saying to myself, is this some Diana Ross and the fucking Supreme shit? Like, what type of backup singer, dancer shit is this? These niggas are supposed to be so fucking gangster and so rich and supposed to be so this and that. But these niggas wear the same outfits backing up 50 Cent at his shows. Now, I'm going to tell you, 50's fans, super loyal. Y'all dick riding 50 fans, glazing 50 fans, y'all stands, super loyal because this guy tells y'all anything, 50. Now, I remember on a bunch of podcasts, there was a podcast I did down here with Ferrari and his man, and they just was like, I told him, I said, that Shreveport deal was cap. I knew it. I said, that was all cap. That was just to get people to clicks and comments. You know, when you announce something and your fan base goes crazy, that was cap.
I just have to interject when he said that because that actually made the news in Shreveport. So to call it cap, you know, for me, to be accurate in calling it cap, it would have had to been something where it didn't make the news. It made the news in Shreveport. They had videos on the news with him going to hearings regarding the license and or what have you, to be able to build out there in Shreveport. And he also had if I'm not mistaken, he also had a pop-up concert. He did. He had a pop-up concert, some type of event to bring light to the fact that he was planning on building the studios, the G-Unit studios out there in Shreveport. Even more so to the point where there was a back and forth, if you don't recall, between 50 and Hurricane Chris. More so Hurricane Chris. I think he wanted to perform on the stage, and I guess he didn't get the opportunity to perform out there in Shreveport, and that's the area where he's from. And so he was a little bit bothered by that. And so he had some words for 50 Cent because of that. And then I think 50 Cent responded. So, yeah. So basically, Benzino saying it's cap. I disagree with that because, again, it actually made the news on Shreveport. You could actually look it up here on YouTube and see that clip where 50 Cent was several times he appeared along with his staff in regard to, again, getting the clearance to build out there, getting the rights to build out there. So it's a real thing. I believe it's still ongoing, actually.
Been said that. That shit ain't happening. It never was and it never will. Cat. The big G unit, the big drawing or the AI rendition of the big G unit building. Cat. But see, y'all ain't saying shit now. All you G unit fans and stands, y'all ain't saying nothing now. Because he doesn't get held responsible for all the cap, all the lies that he do. He has no problem with disrespecting the Jay-Z's and the Diddy's, but both of them still got motion. Diddy got more motion than you in jail. Pretty soon you're gonna start seeing the 50 Cent shit docking real soon. He's not making too much money anywhere else. No. Mm-mm. He didn't own those, the Powers, the Stars, the BMF stories. He didn't own those. He didn't own that. Where's all the big movies and that Branson cognac shit? I ain't never seen nobody drink that shit ever in no club anywhere on earth. The Lychee Midori, I don't even know if that's the way you pronounce it. He's been hashtagging that shit for 100 years, and that shit ain't went nowhere. And the reason I'm bringing all this up really is for the fans. It's for y'all stands, for y'all 50 dick riders, for y'all super glazers, the Glaze crew. Because y'all be so quick to like hop on this man's bandwagon and talk about how great he is, and he's really not doing shit. All he does is try to tear people down. But see, karma has a way of showing up when you least expect it. Shout out to Wallow. I watched these two bozos, Yayo and Uncle Where's the Murder, go on Gilly and Wallow. And I watched Wallow play the shit out of them in their face. Basically told them y'all was scared on that play. And he was not playing around. He was not cracking no smile. He was dead ass serious. He said it was two of y'all. The first thing y'all did was grab the phone. Y'all was scared. And these niggas just looking like, couldn't say nothing.
For those of you that don't know what he's talking about the encounter that Tony Yayo and Uncle Murda had on the airplane with Ja Rule. Ja Rule was sitting in front of them, coincidentally. And I want to say Uncle Murda had a camera out recording the back and forth between Yayo and Ja Rule. And, that's another video that you could look up. And that's what he's talking to. That's what he's referring to, is the airplane incident.
Was sitting right there with him. Obviously, Wallow wasn't scared. Obviously. Disrespected them right in their face. These niggas talk so much gangster shit and so much money shit that dispo ain't doing nothing. And then Uncle Murda talking about taking his kids to fucking Disneyland. You think that's a flex? You're supposed to get credit for taking your kids to Disneyland? Are you fucking crazy? Are you high? My nigga, you don't get credit for that. Me and my man took kids to Disney. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, these two, I don't see them lasting in this game. Their podcast numbers are going down. They don't got too much else to talk about. If they ain't talking about 50, what the fuck do they got to talk about? If they ain't talking about being on tour with 50, what do they got? And the last thing is this. All these places they talking about eating exotic foods and all these exotic countries they're in, you never, ever see them with a broad. You never see them with a woman. Ever. Ever. Never. And I'm sure if they got one, they're hiding them. They're hiding that 3 or that 4. And no disrespect to y'all ladies, because I don't want to disrespect y'all because y'all are with them for whatever reason you're with them. But I'm sure that they're not even posting y'all. They don't give a fuck about y'all. Obviously. They're ashamed to be with y'all because you don't see them posting nothing about you. Where Mrs. Tony Yayo and Mrs. Yayo and Mrs. Murda, whoever y'all are, they're ashamed of y'all. So, I'd be lying if I say I'm liking. I'd be lying if I say I'm not liking what I'm seeing right now. I'm enjoying this. I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna keep watching. Let's go.
All right, so real quick, it's clear that Benzino has a strong. He strongly dislikes 50 Cent. It's been that way for a while. But this rant between him talking about 50 Cent, talking about G Unit fans, talking about Yayo, Uncle Murda, I'm gonna go to I'm gonna speak on what I put in the thumbnail, which is a quote from Benzino. This is who you don't want to be. Listen, if 50 Cent is putting them in a position to make money the way, and they're fine with it, they're grown men, they don't have to get on stage and be hype man for 50 Cent. But if they're making money and they're able to pay, support their family, I don't see anything wrong with it. I don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, they could be doing other things. They could be scamming. They could be back in the streets doing things that's going to get them locked up. I see absolutely nothing wrong with it. And I'm not even saying that as a fan of Tony Yayo or Uncle Murda. That's not even why I'm saying it. If Benzino himself was performing at this age and he had two people from his old group, Made Men, if he had two of his, his boys, they wouldn't even be boys, but you know what I mean. If he had them as hype men, I wouldn't see anything wrong with that either. Listen, if people are going to pay and they can make money, legal money, I don't see anything wrong with it. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. Ironically, in this whole hip hop world, he's speaking on Tony Yayo and Uncle Murda, and Tony Yayo and Uncle Murda was sitting down with Wallow and Gilly for $1 million worth of game, and Uncle Murda and Tony Yayo, I guess it came up the question came up about Memphis Bleak, and Yayo and Uncle Murda were going off on Memphis Bleak for similar reasons. I want to say that Yayo at some point in time was on Vlad, and Yayo said some things about Bleak leaning on Jay-Z for assistance. So it's like the same conversation basically is going on in hip hop. Is certain rappers feel as though other rappers are leaning on the A-lister rapper for support. So in the case of in the case of Memphis Bleak, Yayo believes that Memphis Bleak is being carried by Jay-Z. But then there's some people that say the same thing, like what Benzino's saying right now. There's some people that might say, listen, Yayo, you and Uncle Murda are being carried by 50 Cent. Now, my honest and humble opinion is, as a grown man, if it's working for you, that's all that matters, because as long as you're doing it legally and you're not putting yourself and your family in a position where you could lose your freedom, who cares what the world says? The world doesn't pay your bills. And listen, I know Benzino knows outside of all of this that he's really just attacking them because he doesn't like 50 Cent. That's where it starts from. Everything else, anyone beside 50, it just trickles down and they get the ricochet, so to speak. That's what it really comes down from. But I don't see anything wrong with it, man. They're grown men, and if they're able to make good or great money by touring with 50 Cent here and there, I know 50 Cent at one point had a residency in Las Vegas. I don't see anything wrong with it. I honestly don't see anything wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. If any of you watching this see it a different way, you think I got it wrong, let me hear you in the comment sections. I honestly wouldn't change my mind on my thought on that, because they're making legal money. If you watch that Wallow interview with both Yayo and Uncle Murda, Uncle Murda spoke about them having the businesses that he has, about the distillery that they opened up, and I don't know if they have a restaurant or something like that, but one of them has a restaurant. Point of the matter is, you might laugh at them being hype men for 50 Cent, but they're taking the money that they make, they're investing in stuff that they want to do, that has no association with 50 Cent whatsoever. So they're not being carried by 50. 50 has put them in a position to earn money, and then they're expected as grown men to do sensible and wise things with their money, and they seem to be doing that, And to say they're not going to last, at the end of the day, that doesn't matter either, because none of us are going to last. We last what? We're all getting older by the day. If we're able to, that the goal should be for men is to be able to make enough money to take care of your family and to be able to do things that fulfill you whilst you're here on this earth. Because at the end of the day, all of this stuff means nothing. If you, I say from time to time, it really does mean nothing. We glorify things as though, like, we're gonna be around to hold on to these things. These things that they serve a purpose for certain stages and moments within our lives, and that's all it is. That's really all it is. So from anything, from that car you just bought, from the jewelry you bought, the nice watch, the nice fit, the nice sneakers, shoes, whatever it is you're buying, it just serves a purpose for that moment in time. But the biggest the 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 bigger picture should be putting yourself in positions where you're not just living to work. You're able to enjoy your life, be able to travel, spend quality time with your family. That's the bigger takeaway. And if they're doing that by working with 50 Cent, no matter what they're doing, even if they were carrying his luggage, I don't see anything wrong with that. As a grown man, I wouldn't even shame somebody for doing that, because if they're making money, if you have an issue with it, then show them another avenue. Are you going to contribute to a different avenue? If not, then you're just on the sideline hating at the end of the day. You're really just on the sideline hating. Who are you to tell another man how to make his money? I could disagree with how another man makes his money, and even then, that's just my opinion, and it should have no bearing on that man. I could disagree with a man making money illegally, but would I tell that man that? Not unless it's a close friend, But do what you want, For any decision you make, there's going to be a reaction for it. So if you're hustling, if you're scamming, there's going to be repercussions for that. But you making that decision as a man, that has nothing to do with me. That has no bearing on my life. But again, Benzino knows the reason why he's even speaking on this is because he doesn't like 50 Cent. And to hate on 50 Cent's Shreveport deal, are you going to pop up and do another video when it actually happens? 50 Cent is actively trying to solidify the Shreveport deal. It's not cap. And I'm not saying that as some type of 50 Cent stand. Again, you could look it up on YouTube. He's had several meetings about doing that, about the real estate out there, and also the concert that he had out there, bringing artists from that area to perform on stage. And to say 50 Cent doesn't do anything for anyone, he's doing it for his longtime friend in Yayo. He's doing it for Uncle Murda, who is like the new addition to G Unit. And he'll be doing it for those that live out in Shreveport, because it's going to create revenue for those people who didn't have much options in that particular location. So, I mean, what more you want the man to do? He's employing actors that may not get roles in Hollywood movies, but because he's employing them now in these series from Stars, then they're going to have some eyes on them to potentially end up in films or in other Netflix series or shows, so that's helping them in itself. Any little bit of opportunity is helping someone, and he's doing that. And again, I'm saying that not as some type of 50 Cent stand. I'm just saying that as a realist, as someone observing what's going on. But that's my thoughts on this. Listen, I see no issues with Yayo and Uncle Murda making money, and Uncle Murda bringing up the Disney World thing. Listen, that doesn't matter. Were the kids happy? He's happy to say that he did that for them, because he probably saw the joy in their faces. Were the kids happy to go to Disney World? And that's all that matters. What it's not good enough that he took them to Disney World? Is he supposed to take his kids to Dubai? And that would seem shallow. Wouldn't it seem sincere? To me, it would seem shallow. Like, what you taking the kids to Dubai for? They're not even old enough to even appreciate a trip to Dubai or wherever other destination there that Benzino might be thinking would have been more impressive. I think Disney World's fine. Who cares? He could have said he took the kids to Six Flags, shut down Six Flags, and took the kid. And I would have looked at that as like, yo, that's what's up. But listen, that's my thoughts on it. What is your thoughts? As always, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Tell a friend to tell a friend. I drop episodes daily at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And as always, stay honorable.